Pranav, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to fix your phone addiction. Now, first things first, why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, on average, each and every single week for the past few months, I've had under an hour of screen time overall. So, I'll put up a few pictures as proof, but that's why I'm qualified to talk about it. Second point, this video is designed for people who currently have over an hour of screen time on average on their phones. If you're beneath that, this video may not be as helpful for you. And third, the principles and strategies that have worked for me in this video. Before you make a judgment on them, test them out through direct experience so you actually have a valid opinion on whether or not they are actually effective and good. If you haven't tried them, if you haven't put any experience out, you have no right to judge them and say whether they're good or bad. You haven't tried them. You don't know. So, that's the third point. Test through direct experience before you make a judgment. First principle that I'm going to talk about. It's a common one. You've heard of it. You probably expected it. But quit social media. Delete all social media. And that doesn't mean delete them and then re-download them a week later. Permanently. Cut off all ties to Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit. Those sort of things that when you look on them, that you start scrolling or you're killing time. Quit all social media. That is the first and probably the most important step out of all of these principles. Quit them and leave what's just necessary. When you quit social media, one, you don't have to have your mind bombarded by all these influencers or unrealistic expectations, or just these things that are designed to hijack your brain and keep you scrolling in and out, in and out. When you quit social media, with it, your screen time reduces drastically, and you realize the people that you need to message are the people who are actually the most important to you. It strengthens your ties, reduces time on your phone, and it reduces your screen time. So first one, quit social media. Second, I mute all notifications on my phone except for messages. Now, why do I do this? Because one, I'm not a monkey to my phone. If it starts buzzing with every little inconsequential notification that comes up, all it does is condition my brain to giving the phone the power going whenever it buzzes. That's not what I want. I want to reduce my screen time, and therefore I mute notifications, and I go to my phone from a place of power. There's probably a fear, like FOMO here, fear of missing out when you do mute your notifications, but the thing is, you're not missing out on anything. Not anything important, at least. When I did that, then absolutely nothing happened. Nothing changed in my life. There was no big impact. Nobody's telling me I'm missing out. Like, I muted my notifications. I go to my phone when I need to, and it puts me in a place of power and control over my phone rather than the other way around, which is so often the case with so many people. It's like you go outside and people are just enslaved to their phone because they can't stop with the notifications. They're addicted to social media and yada yada yada. Mute notifications because they aren't helping you. They're conditioning you to follow your phone's commands whenever it buzzes. So that's the second one. Mute all notifications. I use a time tracker, this little journal, that I've talked about in a previous video, but essentially time tracking for me is I write down every single thing that I do during the day. Now, you don't necessarily have to go that far if it's not a habit you want to work on, but in terms of my phone usage, what ends up happening is I write down the times where I'm using my phone. So for example, before I started making this video, I wrote down 8:26 phone, and I looked on my phone, texted my friend, checked my Gmail, and then I put my phone down knowing that I looked at it. For me, the reason that time tracking works is because one, it makes me conscious of the fact that I'm using my phone. I'm not just blindly picking it up, starting to scroll. Two, makes me realize, okay, I just have to do the important things on here, and I have to turn it off because I also have to write down the time where I finished using it. For me, it was around 8:28, so 8:26 to 8:28. You see how that works, right? Because I started it, I had awareness, I used my phone for what I needed to, and then I turned it back off again. For me, time tracking works because it makes you aware, you know what you're doing, you want to get off quick, and then afterwards you don't need to use your phone because you know you already did all the important things that you needed to. So start time tracking. Get a little journal, something like this, a pen, and just jot down all the times that you're using your phone. If you have over an hour of screen time, you're probably using it a lot more than you need to. So this strategy is one I would recommend in general for your life, but if you're not willing to go that far, definitely for your phone. Time track when you use your phone. Fourth, I don't charge my phone in my room. I don't leave my phone in my room at all. Now, the reason I do this is because, one, when I wake up, I don't think I have to go and reach for my phone, or I'm not automatically developing a habit where I have to look at my phone and catch up on the news and all that. You don't have to do it. One, it messes up my mental health in the morning, and two, it's just blind, useless time that you're spending on your device in the morning. What I do is I leave my phone in the kitchen on top of the microwave, attached and charged. Like, I keep it out of my room because my room doesn't need gadgets within it. And it's also a saver of sanity and also screen time, if that's just what you're looking for. Leave it out of your phone. You don't need it. Charge it somewhere else and just have some peace because you don't need it in the morning. And this segues into my next one, number 5, which is don't use your phone right after waking up. For example, I wake up, I use the washroom, like I journal, I use the washroom, I meditate, I eat, and only then, after I've done all of that, will I check my phone from a place of power. Because I've settled into my day, I've realized what I want to get done in the day, and the phone, honestly, it's a bad habit most of the time. Like, I don't need it, but when I do look at it, I want to already be set in these routines that are going to make my day good before I use my phone and get on with my day. That makes sense. It's also kind of like a segue to realize, okay, my day's starting. I'm taking it serious. I'm using my phone. Let's go. So, number 5, don't use your phone in like the first 30 minutes to an hour after waking up. 6, I don't use my phone for leisure, meaning I don't use it to search up on Google or like just random miscellaneous trending searches, or I don't use social media, or I don't use my phone for anything except when I need to use it. My relationship with my phone is that it's a tool, not a toy. I use it when I need to like get something done, text my friend, figure out something, maybe search a term or definition that I don't know. But I use my phone from a place of power and using it as a tool, not that I'm going to use it to read manga or I'm going to search up the best games or like Steam and just like scroll these little dopamine addicted little behaviors. You don't need to do that. Use your phone from a place of intention, realizing I'm doing what I need on here, not to relax or enjoy whatever YouTube video or whatever it may be on your phone. Use your phone as a tool, not a toy. 7, I don't use my phone to listen to music. This is probably surprising, and a lot of you might be going like, what? But I don't use my phone to listen to music because a lot of the time I just end up getting distracted. I'm not really paying active attention to my phone. And if I'm really serious about music, I just listen on the computer. For me, I don't listen to music on my phone. This may be a bit difficult to do, but if you're determined to listen to music on your phone, make a playlist, listen to it on repeat, or listen to albums at a time. Don't keep switching back and forth from one song to another song to another song. The best strategy is to just not use it, but if you have to, make a playlist or something that you can listen to on repeat. 8th, I don't use my phone in the gym. I made another video on this, but my opinion is of the fact that using your phone in the gym is kind of a distraction from the actual purpose of being in the gym, to work out, get fit, improve. The phone doesn't really belong there. I don't use my phone in the gym. It's a distraction, a waste of time, and you don't need it. Maybe you can print out or write your workout on a piece of paper and just sit down with your thoughts in the gym. A lot of people are incapable of doing that, and that's why they use their phone as a sort of leisure, entertainment, or some sort of way to just ease that discomfort that they feel. For me, I don't use my phone in the gym. I sit with my thoughts, and that's really it. I think you should do the same. Don't use your phone in the gym. Number 9, I don't use my phone past 9 p.m. That's like my hard shutdown time. For me, it's disconnecting from my brain from the internet, allowing me to ease into sleep when I need to, right? And it just makes me realize, like, after this time, the phone is not in my life. It's out of my room. I'm not going to pay any more attention to it. And once again, it's reinforcing that you're in control here and not your phone. Your phone isn't the thing that's making you come to it all the time. You're going to it when you need to. So this one's a small one, but just set a shutdown time each and every single day when you're not going to use your phone anymore. Maybe it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, but choose a time at least an hour before your bedtime. And now, if your bedtime's at 12, it's not 11. Set your latest time at 9 o'clock, and any time before that is also fine. But don't use your phone after 9 p.m. 10. The last strategy, and that is find useful things to do with your time. Now, this one's a little bit more abstract, not as clear cut as the previous principles. But what I mean by this is when you are lazy, when I'm lazy, I find myself more driven to pursue entertainment or dopamine or things that are going to take my mind off just not doing anything and being lazy. When you have things to do with your time, whether it be reading, hobbies like Sudoku or crocheting or whatever it may be, when you have things to do with your time and you're using your time effectively, you're not going to spend as much time on your phone because you're not craving it. You are doing things you enjoy and that are moving you forwards. And it's not so much about a grind where you have to be driven and you have to be at war with yourselves and the David Goggins mentality of working hard nonstop. I do think you should work hard. But what I'm saying here is you want to have activities that you enjoy doing, or they may be difficult, but when you do them, you know you're better for them. For me, writing, I find it difficult to sit down and write my novel. But when I do, every single time afterwards, I feel good for having sat down and written. That is the way I use my time. I spend time with my family or my sister. I spend time with my friends. I make sure I get my workout in. I bike and all that. I read. I have a few hobbies. But I actually have a life where I can do activities and not be bored doing them, which naturally is way more fulfilling than being on the phone. Why would I go on the phone when I could do a very, very fun activity instead? So that's my last tip. Find activities and build a sort of life based on your oath to self. Find interesting things to do because when you do, you're not going to want to go on your phone anymore. And that is it. Peace!